is whether you have a brick and mortar business, whether you do in-person networking, whether you do in-person, sales, whether you do virtual sales, it doesn't really matter. What matters is what your room is. Your room can be a group on Facebook. Your room can be, a networking event at a bar. It can be any different kinds of rooms, right? But the thing is working the room. So one of the things that I have learned in all these years of doing business, and it's I'm hoping that I'll get some people to come on from different parts of my business. Usually I'll have people from, 10 years ago and 5 years ago and 3 years ago. And it's good to see like a mix of those people, because it tells me that relationship building is like really important. So when you're working the room, that's really what it's about. It's about learning about the people that are in the room. So, and I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure I'm telling you guys everything that I can possibly tell you about working the room. Fear of networking is probably the number one reason why we don't do well in our business, because we don't want to call people. We don't want to, connect with people. We are busy doing a lot of the behind the scenes work that really doesn't make us any money. So working the room is like my number one thing. It's like, if you are in a Facebook group, if you have contacts, connections, if you're going to events, work that room. So here's how I work the room. One is I find 3 people that I have no idea who they are, and I just go up to them and say hello. And I do the same thing on Facebook. If there's people in a group and they've posted something, I will go on there and, cheer them on if they're posting about something amazing that's happening with them, or answer questions if they're going through some kind of struggle or, whatever their issue is, try to, serve and provide some kind of information. So working the room is not about you. It's not about you. You have to forget who you are, and you just have to focus on what your client or your potential client is. Sometimes it's not going to be a client. Sometimes it can just be a referral. Like if you are just awesome and amazing and you're irresistible, people will want to refer people to you. And that's really the name of the game for me, is referrals. Like I get a lot of people that have never talked to me, that I've never had an opportunity to work the room with, but because someone else that I've been able to engage with heard about me, see the work that I've done, had a conversation with me, and I made it about them and not about me. And they felt like, yeah, I kind of like this girl and she seems to know what she's talking about. So they have referred people to me. So talk to as many people as possible, whether virtual, whether in person, connect with as many people as possible. Ditch the business cards. I hate business cards. I know this is probably not going to seem popular, but business cards are going to kill you. Like no one wants your business cards. I take business cards and then I put them in a little bag on my desk, and then they just end up lost in the weeds. So if you're doing in-person networking, ditch the business card. Just get to know people. We're in a place in the digital world now where it's like, you don't really need a business card. I mean, I know it's good to have, and some places, we want to have like a quick way to share our information, and that's fine too. But I wouldn't just initially just be like, hey, my name is, Sandra, here's my business card. Like no one cares. And I know that sounds terrible to say that, but they don't. Like what they really want to know is like, who you really are, and, what is it about you that's interesting that they should be, interested in. So talk to as many people as possible. Ditch the business card. If you meet people, if you're talking to someone, find out about them first, and don't immediately go into your pitch, your elevator pitch. Just find out about them. Why are they here? How did they hear about this event? Not necessarily related to business. And find out what it is they do, so that when you do make your pitch or you do talk about your business, it can be an organic introduction. If they say, oh, my son's neighbor is a dog walker and she dropped off a flyer for this, and you're like, oh, you have dogs. Okay, yeah, I have dogs too. And you make an organic introduction and conversation. I think we all struggle with, we're trying to run a business, we're trying to make money, we're trying to connect with people, but we have to connect in a more organic way, and we can't sell. Like selling is just, you want to build a relationship first. So the other thing is, if you meet people when you're working the room, follow up with them. I have a system that I use because I do a lot of online work right now. Most of my stuff is virtual. Most of my clients, coaching clients and consulting clients, are virtual. So I meet a lot of people in groups. I meet a lot of people, through social media. So I write down the person's name and I write a little note as to how I met them, especially if someone adds me as a friend. And I don't add people who I have not had a conversation with, because then you have all these people that are your friends and connections, and you really don't know why they're there. So if I haven't had a conversation with someone, I do not add them as my friend on Facebook. I try to just add those people who I've been able to interact with. That way we're building a relationship. It's not just, someone's on here stalking and lurking. We're actually building a relationship. So the other thing I would say is, when you follow up with them, let them know, how hey, I was on that chat that you were talking to XYZ about your brand, or, about what you do with your church, or what you do with, domestic violence, or what you do with, helping people style their, websites, whatever it is. Be specific, let them know how you heard about them. And then, what is it that they're looking for? What kind of clients are they looking for? Like, do they have any, needs in their business that maybe you can help them with before you even offer a sale? So offer to be of service, offer to be a connector, which is one of my other points. So the first one is work that room. And those are all, little nuggets under working that room. So you want to make sure you're following up with them. You're not doing that cold pitch, and you're not using a business card, whether you're on virtual or whether you're virtual or whether you're online. Virtual or in person. You don't want to just go into giving people your business card. And you don't want to just go into throwing people your pitch. A lot of times I have people who will inbox me with certain offers or whatever, sales or promotions and things like that. And honestly, I am so turned off by that, and I don't really respond. So if you have a promotion or you have something that you want to pitch to someone, if you just inbox them and do a, keyboard gangster, that's not going to really help you get your business out there. So building that relationship is important. So definitely working that room. I think I saw Tammy's on there. I think, is that Tammy? So the second thing, so the first thing is work the room. The second thing is be a listener. So when I say be a listener is not just when you're having a conversation with someone, but it's also when you're in other environments and people are talking about what they do. So you have an opportunity to be a listener. You have an opportunity to find out what people's struggles are, what what are their concerns, what are they looking for. I just had someone yesterday talking about Periscope, and she didn't know what topics to talk about on Periscope, but she really wants to scope. Well, that kind of helped me be of service to her. I didn't charge her for it. I just responded and I said, oh, well, what do you blog about? Can you chunk down some of those blogs and make it, something tangible that you can do on Periscope? If you're sharing 10 tips to a cleaner home on your blog, then maybe you can share 3 on Periscope and then send people to your blog. So when you're listening and when you're seeing what other people's needs are, that's really when you're going to be able to serve them better. And honestly, we ended up with a long conversation. We went back and forth. She eventually ended up inboxing me, and now we're going to do a consultation to see if, she can work with me, because she saw that I was being of service. I never once told her I was a coach. I never once told her, book me, this is my pricing. I never talked about any of that. So just being able to see what people are saying out there and how you can serve them without selling is going to be a good way to be irresistible. And people love open, sharing, giving people. And that's what you want to do. You want to come from a place of giving and sharing. And as long as you're showing that you're an expert at what you do, that you're open about sharing, no one can steal what it is that you do, because only you can do what you do. That's what makes it so amazing. Even if you're a photographer, yes, you can. Somebody else can take more amazing pictures than you, but that person doesn't have your personality, your experience, your passion, your whatever it is. You are the only person that can deliver what it is that you do. So the first thing, like I said, is work the room. The second thing is be a listener. And then the third thing is always be networking. And so always be networking. I say my ABN is, as much as we want to believe that social media is a great way to meet people, it can actually kill our socializing and networking skills, because we think, oh, if I just put this on my Facebook page, if I build it, they will come. But it doesn't work that way. Like, people really want to be engaged with you. And so part of the networking is asking questions through whether it's your social media, whether it's whether you're in a group environment, always be networking. And that means ask questions. If you want to know what people's struggles are, you're only going to find that out by asking questions. Like today, I think I posted, I see you lurking, but you're not talking to anyone on Facebook today. You're just out there kind of, there's a lot of people who are out there, they have a business and they're just afraid to put themselves out there and ask people what it is that they want. We want to be in business, but we want to give people what we want to give them, when that doesn't really make a successful business. A successful business is when you give people what they want and what they need. So when you're in that networking role, and if you're doing it in social media, that means it has to be a give and take. So ask questions, make posts that have a call to action to them. Like, even if it's just asking people to respond and let you know, like, that they're alive out there. I've posted those kind of posts before. You just want to know people have a pulse and that they're out there, and they want to know that you too are out there, and that it's not just some random, advertising, or, that you've got these scheduled posts that are going out to them. People really want to feel connected to your brand, and not only to your brand, but to you. To my fault, I have been in different, when I was running my nonprofit, I might have been too connected, where then I could not remove myself because I was the face and the personality of my organization. And so, we had to kind of weave other people into that brand to make them more visible, so that I could step back. Because people, once you become this irresistible personality and people know you and get to feel comfortable with you, they are going to come. They're going to want to be there with you. They're going to want to know behind the scenes what's happening. They're going to, they are going to love not only your brand, but you. So I'm going to share my quote again, because I think the quote was awesome. But this is by Angel Quintana, and it says, being irresistible is about being comfortable with who you are. So the biggest thing about being a brand is your brand can't just be an alter ego. It has to be something that really resonates with you, and that people will say, wow, okay, I get it. I get Sandra. She's, this serial entrepreneur that does all this crazy stuff, but she really has a passion for people and connecting with women. And I mean, if you guys have followed me for a while, you know that that's where my heart is. Like, I love connecting with women. I love, I love business. I'm always doing some kind of business or entrepreneurial venture. And I love people, like connecting with people and helping people. So what is it that you, what is it that you're most comfortable with? And how can you show that in your brand? You know, I think that we try too hard to be someone else, you know, with our brand. And that's really not going to get us very far. So this little quote was like one of my favorite quotes that I found out there about being irresistible, which leads me kind of to the next thing, which is be you. You have to be authentic. I share so much about myself and people think I'm probably nuts. But that's part of my brand. My brand is real. You know, I share my daughter, I share my family, I share, you know, the ins and outs behind the scenes. I share my struggles, like when I'm like, okay, I'm building my business and I'm trying to get, you know, off the ground and I'm in a new city again, rebranding again. And this is the pain points that I have. And I bring you guys through all that with me. So I'm gonna take not a break necessarily, but I'm gonna open it up for questions. If you guys have questions, you can do a /Q in the chat, and you can ask any questions that you have, and I'm happy to answer them. So don't feel like you can't interrupt me. You know, one of the things I was saying for you guys that are just tuning in is I had a guest co-host, and unfortunately she couldn't be on the show with me, and I wanted to cancel because I felt like, okay, I'm going to be here by myself, blabbing, right? But the truth is that I feel like I had something that I could contribute. I have an ebook that I'm working on, which is Simply Irresistible, How to Create Authentic Relationships in Life and Business. And so these points are from my ebook. I haven't even finished my book yet, but I do have all the topic areas. And so I'm pretty much giving you the behind the scenes of my book right now. You know, is it clean? Is it perfect? You know, am I perfect? No way. But this is part of what makes my brand what it is. And so, you know, I think that we try to put everything in a box and put a pretty bow on it. And we are like, this is our brand. But no one is really into that anymore. Like, people want to know about you and what makes you so special, because mostly everyone who's out there is doing something that's already been done before. I mean, if you're doing something brand new that's never been done before, then kudos to you. And I hope that you're making, you know, billions off of it. But most of us are doing, you know, providing services or doing things that already exist out in the world. You know, you can Google what you're doing, and I'm sure you will come up with a plethora of people who are doing the same thing. But what you do and how you do it is what makes you amazing and unique, and what makes people attracted to you. So some of the things I would say is, like, how are you sharing who you are with people? One of the things that you can do, definitely people use their about page to kind of share about themselves. If you're talking about yourself, like in the third person, you probably want to change that, because people want to be more personal with you. Share about yourself. You can have a link that says, like, you know, for the more formal resume or about me or whatever it is, click here. But people really want to know you and who you are at your core. So I'm going to go back to serving others. Okay, so number 1 was work the room. Number 2 was be a listener. 3 was always be networking. 4 is be you. Like I said, be authentic. No one wants to be sold. Everyone wants to love you for who you are. And honestly, when people love you, they will ask you, how can they give you their money? And then serving others. So volunteering or collaborating. One of the things that I have decided is that to grow my business, my strategy, and I'm going to tell you my strategy, and you are part of my strategy right now. My strategy for my business is Blab, and live streaming. So I use live streaming, specifically Blab, to collaborate with other professionals who are who can either, either they're offering similar services as me, or they're complementary services to my clients or people who I think would be interested in their services. So this is a way to position myself as a thought leader, to network, to offer people an opportunity for visibility and to also share, their visibility with their clients. So it's a great way to kind of get myself out there, to be able to have other people on my show that we're going to share, not only about my show, but this particular show that they're on. And they're going to come on here and they're going to help me. So I don't have to sit here and blab for an hour, right? They're going to give me more content and more jewels and gems. And no one can take my clients from me, right? So when we're working together, what our individual strengths are, that's what comes out, and people will be attracted to that. So if there were 4 of us on this blab right now, not every single person would be attracted to my personality. Normally I'm up here and I'm like, whoop, 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 whoop. I'm excited, and it can be over the top sometimes because I am just passionate about this. I'm passionate about getting my business out there. I'm passionate about helping other women get their business out there. I'm just passionate about being able to use something so simple as the internet to share, our knowledge, the expertise that we have, our journey, and connect people. So it feels like I'm talking a lot because I'm the only one talking, right? All right. So serving others, I said volunteering and collaborating. So that's what this blab is about. Normally I would have other blabbers on here with me, co-hosts. And that would be a way for me to collaborate and also to help other people so they can promote their services. They can, reach out to a different audience, and they can also share me with their audience. Connecting personally. So connecting personally is really important. So we may chat with people online, or we may meet people in-person environments, but are you connecting with these people personally? And one of the things that I would suggest, and I've spent a lot of time doing this in the past, I can't do as much of this in person now because I have a 7-month-old daughter, and to be honest with you, that is my priority. And I work my business around her. So I can't be in person having coffee dates with people, but I do have a lot of virtual coffee dates. If you went to my website and you went to my Work With Me page, you could sit down and have a virtual coffee date with me. And basically we can sit down and chit chat about what's going on with your business. I can learn more about you. You can learn more about me. Coffee dates, whether you're in person or whether you're, online, are a great way to get to know people and a great way to build relationships. And if you haven't gotten anything out of what I've said so far, relationship building is like the number one thing. So make time for coffee or lunch or whatever it is so that you can build that relationship and have that one-on-one time. Even if you are connecting with people on virtual platforms, I would suggest trying to have a real conversation with them, one that is not involved selling, and just getting to know them. I have met people all over the world now through the internet, just by having these one-on-one conversations. And I don't, thanks, Katina. I don't, what's the word? I don't take that lightly just because if I comment or someone comments and responds to something I post, I try to connect with them in some way, shape, or form. I don't just let those kind of fizzle off into the universe. It does take time, but it's so worth it because the more relationships you build, the less selling you're going to do. And the less time you're going to spend trying to market your services, because other people will do that for you. If you're really giving, like I said, if you're giving of yourself and you're really connecting with people, people will honestly, they will refer you, and, they may even need or use your services. So connect with them personally. If you go to somebody's inbox, don't talk about your business. You just go and say, hey, it was great chatting with you on the XYZ board about XYZ. Would love to know more about you, and that's it, and leave it at that. Or, whatever commonalities you guys have, start from that common place, and use that as a way to start the relationship. I have used this one skill over and over and over and over again. And it has opened up so many doors for me. My mentor, which, I never really thought she would be my mentor. I was at a networking event. I didn't get an opportunity to talk to her at that event. The event ended and I went home and I said, gosh, I never even talked to her, and I wanted to really connect with her. And so I sent her an email and I said, hey, we were at this same event. I didn't get an opportunity to talk to you. I just want to let you know, I love the work that you're doing. She has a nonprofit. And so I love the work you're doing with the Sandbox and the kids that you're working with. And I had my photography business at the time. And I said, how can can I donate my services? How can I give of my time? How can I do something? And in the back of my mind somewhere, it was like, oh my gosh, like I just wanted to soak up all the knowledge this woman had because she's just that amazing. And honestly, we ended up having a coffee date. And when I sat down, the first thing she said was, how can I help you? Like, what is going on with you and how can I help you? And she has been my mentor and has just been the most encouraging person in my life. And, it really showed me how just taking a step out there and just coming from a place of serving and developing those relationships personally will really, really help you. So now if I had sent her, a friend request on Facebook, she never knew who I was. And then I spammed her with an event or a promotion, this relationship would never have happened. So that is one really big thing for me is connect personally. The other thing is be a connector. So being a connector is you have resources and contacts and people that you've met through all sorts of mediums. Use that as a way to connect people that need each other. Because when you're connecting other people, you are showing that you are a game player, that you're all about team player, that you're willing to, help other people and that it has nothing to do with you. Like you're, willing to take yourself out of the equation and help other people. So be a connector. When I meet people, I immediately think of 3 people that I can connect this person with. So that's my thing. I think of, okay, who are 3 people that I can connect this person with? And if I don't know 3 people, then I will it sits in my brain. And I will, whenever that person pops up again, I'll think of okay, who do I know that I can connect this person with? And sometimes it will take a while, it may not be immediate, and sometimes it is immediate. But when you're connecting other people, you will also become someone that has an irresistible brand and an irresistible personality, because people want to be around you. I have a very good friend who is a connector. I mean, she is, she was on my board for my nonprofit. She would sit there, she would take out her phone and she would literally say, what do you need? And she would start texting, and whatever we needed, she would have it in 30 minutes because she was connected to so many different people, and she did not mind sharing those resources in a very, professional way. And she didn't mind connecting people that had, similar visions or goals. So be a connector. Think of 3 people that you can connect people with that will be useful, for their relationship, for their business. So that's number 7. Number 8 is never sell, educate. So I know selling is what we are kind of taught to do, right? Because we want to make money in our business. Everybody's got to eat. Some of us have kids, families, things that are, important to us. And when we lead from that place of I got to sell, I got to make a client, I got to, get an affiliate link on my blog, I got to do this, I got to do that. That is when we kind of go into that landslide mode and things just don't really work out for us, because if you're chasing the dollar will run faster than you can chase it. So if you're on here right now, because I feel like it's kind of quiet out there and you have questions, go ahead and type the /Q and you can type any questions you have. And the other thing is, if you see the little hands that are at the bottom of my screen, go ahead and give me a little bit of hands so I know that y'all are out there and alive. Thank you. So again, just want to share, I'm going to put this back up on the screen again. Woo-hoo. On all social media, I am sandragwines.com. I'm sorry, I am Sandra Gwines. You can find me on pretty much all social media that way, or you can go to my website, which is sandragwines.com. But for people who don't know how to spell my last name, brandyouLove.com takes you to the same place. So, all right, so we are at number 8, which is never sell, educate. So I have, and I give examples because I feel like I have been so blessed to meet so many awesome people. So one of the girls who's going to be on my show, the first Thursday in February, she actually is an MLM, and I'm really funny about MLMs. Like, I just feel like sometimes, they have a certain strategy for selling, even though, I think they just have a bad rap from years before, but MLMs are changing and they're realizing that they have to be more authentic, and they have to come from a less salesy place. And so I'm really excited because I have a few friends who do MLMs and they do them well. And when I say well, is that they really are coming from a place of serving, educating, they are being authentic, and they are showing people what the lifestyle is, by using these products, et cetera, that instead of trying to sell the product. So I think that makes me less crazy about it. I mean, or less weary or leery about it, right? So I have a friend who does, I think it's Beach Body Coach, and she does a good job of sharing her life. And basically she's geared more towards moms, and she kind of shows how she got her body back after having her baby, with Beachbody. And she has a accountability group, and she does all these things. And honestly, I think she does a great job at it because she really shows herself like doing her workouts and drinking her drinks and holding her baby. And that's what people want to see. Like, they want to know like the nitty gritty. I don't know the financial end results of these programs. Sometimes, I want to see my friends really making, a good amount of money. And so I'm always excited to see people kind of launch and brand their own thing. But I don't feel like it's impossible with MLMs. I think there is a possibility to do it. I think it is totally attainable, if you do it the right way. So with that said, my girlfriend sells doTERRA. She actually, I'm bringing her on the show because she's done such a great job of showing me kind of the other side of, not being a salesy MLM person, right? So they do a webinar once a week about their products, which are essential oils. And they basically teach you what essential oils you can use for different things, whether it's a cold or whether you have a, cranky baby or toothache or a headache or all these different things. And, and people come on there and talk about kind of how they've used it. And it came from a place of educating, like, you can use this lemon oil to clean your counters instead of using like toxic chemicals. And, oh my gosh, like amazing to have an opportunity to hear like how these products work, but in a very, they didn't even sell the products till the end really of the webinar. Like at the end, they're like, okay, and these are the products. If you want to buy them, you can buy them. But it was pretty much like, how these products work from an educational standpoint, a health standpoint. Like, if you want to be healthy, these are things you can do. I could have gone off of that webinar and went to Amazon and bought the same products, but because they did such a good job of answering questions, being of service, not selling me stuff, and educating, I actually purchased the products. So never sell, educate. It seems obvious, in the work that we do, but you want to have a good value proposition and not try to always sell. Instead, help by doing and giving and educating. All right. So number 9, I can't believe it's 7:44. What in the world? I didn't think I was going to make it to the hour. Number 9 is massage. All right. So this is something that a lot of people struggle with. And it is my most favorite thing to do. It's probably too much of my favorite thing to do. And so it does sometimes take away from other things, but I think it's super important. If you have someone that has made a transaction with you, they have given their money to you in some way, please find a way to thank them, to massage them over time. So I send thank you cards out. I take time out at the end of the year to send Christmas cards, Valentine's Day, whatever. I mean, I don't do Valentine's Day, but I'm saying you can find just because days. For my clients, when they have been with me for 3 months, if they make a 3-month commitment to coach with me, when they make that 3-month mark, I send them a little congratulatory gift, a little something, to show them that I appreciate them investing not only in themselves, but in me and believing in me. And for continuing to stay the course those 3 months. And most of my clients will go ahead and re-sign for another 3 months. So massaging your clients, take the time to say thank you, and not just when the exchange happens, but 3 months from now, a year from now, whatever, like just remind people that they still matter, because at some point they helped you, grow your business, or they invested in your brand. Most of the people that, follow me are solopreneurs or mompreneurs, or, it's just you and maybe another person, or, you're very small staff. So this is the kind of businesses that I'm talking about. Obviously, if you're like a big corporate, or this is going to be a little bit more difficult to do. But I just want to encourage you to massage your clients. I do talk a lot about massaging my clients because I think it's super important. So when I'm working with my clients, I teach them to massage their clients, teach them to send out cards, to say thank you, to do special promotions just for those people that have spent money with them. So, all right, the last one, I can't believe I'm at the end. The last takeaway for how to build a simply irresistible business is, I say be the love, but it's treat others the way you want to be treated. So a lot of times we are out there marketing and networking and doing all these things, and we don't want to take the time to hear about other people's businesses. And we just want to get our pitch, our information out there without giving people time to let us know what it is that they do. So you have to treat others the way you want to be treated in your business. One of the things that I like to do is I don't even tell people about my business first. I let them talk to me about what they do first, and then I come back and talk about my business, because it's not about me. It's about them, right? Our business is not about us. It's about our clients. So be the love, treat others the way you want to be treated, and just use the opportunity to learn. I'm telling you, you will learn so much if you just shut up. I know that sounds terrible, but if you just take the time to just close your mouth and let your client talk, which is actually the number one rule of how to make and close a sale, is just stop talking. Once you let your client know how much you charge, just stop talking and leave it in their court. But literally, getting back to simply irresistible, if you want to be simply irresistible, you have to be comfortable with being who you are, because who you are is what attracts people to your business. And so you have to come from a place of serving. You have to listen to your clients, listen to your potential clients, connect, always be networking, be you, so be authentic, serve, so volunteer or collaborate. So if you're a blogger, like I know Katina's a blogger, Katina needs to be letting me know how she's going to come and do a guest post or a guest blog on my blog. But always be looking for ways to collaborate and to connect with other people. If you are a photographer, how can you work with a makeup artist and maybe do a collaboration with them for a photo shoot. Um, my husband is a photographer. He just came from a school today for teach. It was a makeup academy, and he goes and he teaches them basically the ins and outs of photography from what he sees behind the camera and how their makeup needs to look for different photo lighting situations and things like that. It's a collaboration that's going to help him in his business because makeup artists have clients who need pictures, right? And so he's able to connect in that way. So I said connect personally. So if you are meeting people, make sure that you're following up with them, with a personal, hey, let's have lunch, let's have coffee, all those things that could be, ways to build a one-on-one relationship with them. Be a connector, which is, when you meet someone, think of 3 people or think of 3 resources. If you don't know people, think of 3 resources that you can share with this person that would help them, help their business, help them, in their life, whatever your client might need, or whatever this particular a colleague, if they're not a client, could need. So be a connector. Never sell, educate. So, if you are, whatever it is that you do, you have something that you can teach someone to do. And no one can take what you do away from you. So just because you teach someone your secrets, they're not gonna go out and in turn start a business and, take over your industry. And then massage your clients. So you're going to go ahead and reach out to your clients and say thank you. Just because, whether it's a year later, 3 months later, 5 months later, take the time to really reach out and connect with your clients, and like I said, massage them. And massaging is really just saying thank you and taking care of those clients, because it's hard to get a client. But once you have a client, it's easier to keep them if you're, massaging those clients. So hi, Troy. So yeah, it's easier to keep them if you're taking care of them. And then the last thing is be the love. So make sure that you are allowing people to, you're treating people the way you want to be treated. Just because you want to get your business out there doesn't mean that you shouldn't give other people an opportunity to share about their business and what they do. I think that's one of the biggest challenges is we're trying to sell, we're trying to get our name out there, but we really need to learn how to just close our mouths and listen and allow people to also share about what they do so that we can in turn, make those good relationships and contacts. So those are my 10 for tonight. This will be on the replay. If you guys are interested in watching it, please go ahead and do. If it's something that you felt was useful and you can share with your people, please do. I am on here every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. My website is brandyoulove.com. And you can find me at all social media at I am Sandra Gwines. And I am so excited that you guys joined me for however long you did. Again, I'm sorry that I didn't have a co-host tonight, and thank you for letting me blab for an hour. I hope it was great, and thank you so much. If you, if you guys want to leave your webpage at the bottom in the messages, it'll stay in the repeat and the replay. People will be able to see it. So if you're on there and you want people to kind of know who you are and where your website is, go ahead and write it in the messages. So that way it will be part of the replay as well. My link to my site is actually in my profile. But again, it's brandyoulove.com. And I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to see if anybody wants to type that in. If not, I will see you guys next week. Take care. Thanks, Katina. Thanks for joining in. All right, guys. Good night.